done? Okay, my turn.
Oh, good grief. I don't think this tree is worth it. But let's play with the monsters. Okay, I changed my mind. I definitely want to kill them. Got him! Yes, 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 I got him. Well, good morning. We're back in Middle Earth, and we are going to continue our adventures here into the Silvertine Lodes. So we need to go find the platform and do some things down there. We're going to head down this way. We got to watch out for sneaks in here, because we'll find a few. Like that one that's behind me right now. It even says sneak on it. Okay, let's try eating something. What do we have here? We can ignore. Hello. Oh, did you want to play? Oh, very good. Alright, so. Now there are two ways down here. You have this one, and you have this one. We want this path. The other path leads somewhere else. So. And I have discovered Manim Barège. So that is the last spot we needed for the Silvertine Lodes. Very good. So we have completed a deed. Now we need to come up here. And a lot of times you will... Oh, we also completed Goblin's Lair, so we completed 2 deeds. Very nice. What I was going to say is a lot of times around those wheels that you're fixing, you'll run into sneaks. So don't assume that just because you don't see an enemy, that there isn't one there. There could very likely be one there, like the one that's right behind me. So yeah, you will find sneaks in here. You'll also find a couple maps for a epic quest later. So it's always good to remember where those are at. It wants me to look at the scholar mats, which I can't use, so yeah, no. And we need to fix 4 more gears. I'm calling them wheels, they're gears. Like I said, watch out for sneaks. Look at the big giant crystal here. Neat, huh? I always thought they were. Can you imagine using something other than actual electricity to light with? I mean, humans have used all sorts of things as light sources. There's propane lights. There's, of course, oil lamps, candles, campfires. There's another map. Like I said, it's good to remember the location of those. And so we have completed fixing the gears here. We need to kill 2 more enemies on the way back. Don't know if this diseased dragonette's going to count, but we'll try. It just says enemies. Okay, yeah, it counted. Now we just need 1 more. And this deep claw should count too. Alright, so we have all our enemies. We have fixed the gears, and we can go back up to the camp. And of course we have to fight the guards again on the way back, but that's fine. Because, well, obviously goblins are a deed. And they're also good XP. Especially considering everything is currently yellow. Alright, so let's talk to this dwarf Balfour.
It is said that Durin's Bane dwells here, though we have not seen it.
Thank you for your efforts, Medriel. We're terribly short-handed here, given the threat of the goblins all around us. Whether or not these miners ever find anything, I rest easier knowing they are safe. Of course, we have things that we can't really use, and it's got better armor, but the one I'm using has much better vitality. We'll think about it.
If it were not for the prospect of finding Mithril, I would not have come here.
Ah, well done, my friend. We will have Moria back in working order in no time. And there we go. Completed the miners of Moria. And I am now known to the Iron Garrison Miners. So that is deed number 3 I've already completed. Just casually doing quests in Moria. We also happen to have some lag going on here. Always fun.
I doubt that Lord Balin still lives.
Boy, that's a sentiment I can feel. I just wish they would stop nerfing landscape mobs every update. There's barely any challenge these days. I know the feeling. I definitely do. In fact, I've said that more than once, especially with things like the trolls, which you expect to have a lot of XP and hit like a ton of bricks. Our best hope of finding Mithril in the Silvertine Lodes is to reclaim and repair the platform of Moria. If you ask me, if you could begin by restoring the wheels. I thought we did this already.
If we drive the orcs from Khazad-dûm, will it be enough?
For some reason, it gave me the wrong quest that I'd already finished. That was weird. There are many lamps set along the winding mining path that descends into the Silvertine Lodes, but it has been many years since they've been lit. Will you patrol the long descent and light the lamps as you go? The fire should help to drive away the enemies that have settled here, and help the dwarves to see as they work and explore. Now remember when I said down here there were 2 paths? Well, the second path is where you're going to find the majority of these lamps that we need to light. That's looks like a... All right, can we light it? Thank you. Looks like a coal brazier. Not really technically a lamp, but if it provides light, it works. And that's, of course, another thing that humans have used to provide indoor lighting. Actually, pretty neat. I was going to say, there's usually a mob right there, and there he is. We're going to go ahead and kill him, so we don't have to worry about him following us around. And once again, you want to be mindful of where you step. Unless you'd like to, you know, fall to your death. Okay, we're at 5 of 9. And also, following this path down actually leads you to another exploration spot. And you can actually follow this down too for part of the epic. But since we have to go down here to light the lamps anyway, we will go find that spot now. That looks like it should have a door, doesn't it? The way it's framed out. Okay, so continue, and we come to this spot here. And this is the Forgotten Treasury. Or it's the entrance for the instance. And that is, I can't remember if it's a 6-man or a raid. It's definitely something you need a group for. Right, and this here... Can we go in? Nope. Let's not fall to our death, okay? That'd be really good. This here. We can't go into it yet. But once we open that up, that leads to the Way of Smiths. And you can go through the Way of Smiths and cut over into Redbubble Lodes. Redhorn Lode. Wait, is it Redhorn? Can't remember. The red lodes are on the other side. So, it's a quick cut through when you're able to use it. Alright, so we have finished lighting the lamps. And we can go talk to our dwarf friend again. I can't remember. I think that might be the last one he has for us before he sends us off somewhere else. I'm just kind of surprised that when you light something, it should stay lit so you know you've done it.
It is said that Durin's Bane dwells here, though we have not seen it.
Thank you, Medriel. The lights will be great boon to our efforts in the Silvertine Lodes.
We can only hope that Durin's Bane sleeps deeply.
You have helped us out a fair amount here at Menemberej, Medriel. While you were exploring, an explorer named Sori passed through on his way south, and he asked for assistance of anyone I could spare. I told him I would apply to you upon your return. Will you seek out Sori as you head southwards? Alright, so we're finished with this small camp of dwarves. And they seem to be in pretty good hands and spirits, so we will head on and deeper into the mine. And I have to admit, I hated this mine once. I so hated it. Now I think it's just grand. While we're wandering around in here, where is it? Somewhere around here. No, it's in this direction. There's a spitter. Let's get you out of the way, since I know you will attack me. Oh, there it is. It's our next Moria mirror. So, and when we're back up at deep descent, we can finish that quest. So for now, we will remove it from our radar. Head back up this way. And up in that platform is Sori. And he's feeling a little beset. Because there are a lot of glowworms here.
The time has come to drive forth the orcs from our kingdom.
Ah, you must be the famous Medril of whom I have heard so much praise spoken. They are singing of your valor from Holland to the roots of the Silvertine. Stay a moment, and I am sure we can do some good work around here.
If we are to find Mithril in Khazad-dûm, we will first have to deal with the orcs.
Well, as you can see, the shaft just near me is utterly infested with those vile glowworms. Perhaps you can do me a good deed and smash the ugly crawlers, and while you're at it, collect some of the luminous goop that gives them their eerie glow. I believe I can fashion some of that goo into a torch of sorts, which will light the way for me in the accursed dark. And here's our second ore samples.
If we are to find Mithril in Khazad-dûm, we will first have to deal with the orcs.
The real reason I have come to the Forsaken Tunnel is to search for Mithril along the dark, forgotten path. Up where the glowworms infest the mine shaft, I believe there will be plenty of ore deposits to harvest. Will you bring me a sample of what you collect? Alright, so he wants me to kill worms and collect their goo and check for mithril. I can't remember if these are actually a deed. They're not. Okay. Alright. So we have some yellow traced ore. And I still have not gotten around to upgrading her mining skills. I really should do that before I get much further into Moria. I'm missing out on so much ore. There's definitely no lack of worms here. He's right about that. Alright, so we have two more ore samples to get. I can't remember if I can get that guy to fall off. Nope. Because he's a ranged fighter, he was a little smarter than that. Why am I still in combat? Didn't I kill him? Or was there another one? There might have been another one. Alright, so if you go up... Where is it? This way? We'll go ahead and kill these, even though we don't need them. This is one of the dead ends that you mark off when you're doing that first quest in the Silvertine Lodes. I love it how long it took him to respond, even though I was standing right on top of him. Now that could have been the result of lag, but could have also been the result of the fact that these creatures probably aren't very bright. No pun intended. And we can actually jump up here. And hello, Sori. I have done what you asked.
These halls will be great once more.
Hello again, Medriel. Let us take a look, eh? Sori gently inspects each piece of ore you brought him, as carefully as Steer did before him. No mithril that way, but perhaps in another spot nearby.
May Doreen return soon to his halls.
Ah, lovely. Well, perhaps not lovely, but you know what I mean. I can smear this goop on anything, and it will provide a light for me as I wander in the dark. You have probably saved me from many a false step, Medriel. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
We have seen naught of Doreen's bane. Be wary if you journey into Moria.
The mine shaft may be fairly empty of good prospects, but perhaps the very tunnel around us may provide a better yield. Will you search the surrounding area once more? And again, I will look at your harvest for signs of mithril. My heart yearns to see just the slenderest vein. The hope of such a discovery would kindle in my folk is beyond description. Okay, so now we need to check out the silvery ore sample. I love the sound effects. It's so creepy. They really did an excellent job with the atmosphere in Moria. The music that plays here, the sound effects. I mean, you talk about working with what you have. They were working with what? I guess Mines in Moria didn't come out until a couple years after. So they're working with like 14-year-old technology to do this stuff. Of course, sound effects have been around since motion pictures developed the ability to have sound. Excuse me. Rude. I'm looking for something and you interrupt it. Go away. I think we might find some of, some of our ores down here. So let's get this diseased dragonette out of the way. I guess that deep claw is probably contemplating digging a hole in that wall. Okay, so now we have all our ore. I don't think there's any... We'll be helping this poor fellow out later. Thought. And you got this poor fellow. Now, you have this poor dead dwarf here. And this guy just standing there. I'm surprised he hasn't gone and found somebody to help him bury his... I mean, that's his kin. You know? Don't tell me he hasn't noticed the dead dwarf laying face down on the rock. If he hasn't, he probably shouldn't be in a mine because he's blind.
The shadow of Mordor will not long fill the halls of Khazad-dûm.
Sori again scrutinizes all of the ore you collected from the surrounding tunnels. Nothing. Alas, I will have to search more on my own. But my hopes are rather low right now. Regardless, you have my gratitude, Medriel. I am certain you did your best. Perhaps there is no true silver left to uncover.
We have little time to speak. Great events have been set in motion.
I am glad you're back, Medriel. I have just received a message from Thetnor at the Deep Descent. It would seem that Niker, a miner from Menem Barrage, has gone missing, and all the dwarves of this area are now looking for him. Will you help, Medriel? He could easily have passed right under our nose in the dark. I know Niker well, but what could he have been doing off by himself? The mines are not safe. So we're going to go back down here, and unfortunately that dwarf that was laying face down in the rock is our poor unfortunate Niker. Niker seemed to be making haste with some gold, but did not get far, surely slain by this creature that has just come out of the woodwork, quite literally. And it is a diseased dragonette, and you have killed the dragonette that surely killed Niker. So we need to return to Sori and tell him our sad tale.
These halls will be great once more.
Niker dead. That is a tragedy beyond bearing. Why, that fool. What could he have been about? I will send notice to the other camps to call off the search. Poor foolish Niker. So we got a nice big shield. And bracelet. These are both good for... Well, this is good for a guardian. Or a captain. If you're using a sword and board captain. Also good for guardian or captain or champion. So nothing really we can use.
Stand and speak with me. The fate of Khazad-dûm hangs in the balance.
I think we have done enough here to establish that Mithril is not likely to be found in this part of the Silvertine Lodes. I may pack up and return to Deep Descent or Minim Barrage. I have not yet decided. If you wish to continue your exploration, however, you should search for Ondot. I hear he was making his way to the old dwarf city that was rumored to be in the south of the Silvertine Lode. The only way to reach it was by a hidden door in a passage near here. Make your way to Ondot, if you will, and then I believe you will have seen all there is to see in these parts. Alright, so let's get on a goat. And he says to find the hidden door. He did not say anything about finding lag. But we definitely found that. We head up this way. You have found the door mentioned by Sori, not hidden, but a door plain to see. And now we have discovered the old Silvertine city. And there's Ondot. Hello, Ondot. How are you?
May Durin return soon to his halls.
Oh, hello there, traveler. I did not expect anyone to come along with me. But my curiosity to behold this place could not be contained. Marvelous and surprising, is it not? The civilization in Silvertine was one very great, I think. I should like to explore here. And we're waiting for the quest to complete. Okay. The lag here is real. The lag is very real today. I'm wondering what's going on
We
now.
have little time to speak. Great events have been set in motion.
I've noticed some very evil-looking dragonettes during my travels throughout the Silvertine Lodes, but with no sense of where their hive could be until I came here. I believe they have made their home in the old city here. If you slay them at their hive, I believe we will be cutting off the entire population of the menace throughout the entirety of the Silvertines. Will you help? So he wants me to kill some dragonettes.
If we are to find Mithril in Khazad-dûm, we will first have to deal with the orcs.
I notice a strange light of many colors coming from the far end of this ancient city's edge, Medriel. What could it be? Will you go and take a look? I worry there is some goblin campfire perched near us, and the goblins are ready to spring. Find the source of the light. Okay. Unwelcome tunnelers.
If we are to find Mithril in Khazad-dûm, we will first have to deal with the orcs.
It would appear that we have another problematic inhabitant of the city. Deep claws have made themselves quite the little nest here, and as long as they remain, the old Silvertine city will be hopelessly polluted. They have uneven tempers, those beasts, and they weaken the foundations of Moria. You ought to go clear out the wretched nest when you have spare time. Alright, so the cave claws are diggers, and they dig in stone. And they're not doing the foundation of a mine as giant as this any good. Oh, and here we have a riddle. And that riddle says, you have found a plaque bearing the strange runes of Pelgir Twist Tongue, author of the papers you found in Catlub Zahar. When translated, they read as follows. I can sizzle like bacon. I am made with an egg. I have plenty of backbone, but lack a good leg. I peel layers like onions, but still remain whole. I can be long like a flagpole, yet fit in small holes. What am I? Alright, so we will be looking for the answer to that while we're running around killing stuff. And yeah, I already know what it is because I have done the riddle quest a few times already. So if you go this way, well, you usually have dragonettes, but apparently we have competition for them. And the answer to that question is, of course, a snake. So we click on this plaque. You have solved the riddle of the serpent. There is another plaque on the east wall of the room. So we need to find... There it is. This plaque is inscribed with a riddle in Felger's strange language. At night I come without being fetched. By day, though lost, I am not gone. All know me, but only the ocean heeds my call. So, I already know the answer to that one, too. And it's not road. Not rain. It is the moon. And I will talk to Ondot about that. Because I found a key in that chest. But first, I need to find some dragonettes to kill. I think that Bjarning just killed all of them. So we're waiting for them to come back. And I don't know if he killed them for the quest or if he's doing deeds. But we do need to kill some deep claws, so let's get this one. Alright. And we need to destroy some nests. So we'll go ahead and do that too while we're here. What level are you? 52? Okay, so he's doing quests too. And more nests. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted the nest. I mean, I would want the Kazad Skarn, but not right now. There's another nest. And we need to destroy one more nest. Kill a bunch more cave claws. Go down here. Another cave claw. And we have some crystals to mine, which are very pretty and glowy crystals. And they come in different colors. So we have these yellow-orange ones, and we have ones that are kind of a bluish-white. I don't think... Oh, there's one more up this way. Already in use. So the lag still exists. No more up that way, and I think that's a dead end anyway. Now, if I remember right, there is some hidden deed to find places to fall to your death here in Moria. Not something I've gone out of my way to look for, because I'm not really all that fond of going alley-oop. And besides, it could just be a rumor. And there's usually a couple of Grodbig here that will attack, but like I said, we have somebody else doing quests here, so I imagine they already took care of them. And we have Ondot's crystals. So we need 3 more deep claws and a bunch of dragonettes. And this is another one of those places it's good to farm for deep claws. In fact, if you're doing your drakes, your dragonettes, which is another deed, you can do that and some cave claws at the same time. And have a 2-for-1. Okay, so all our dragonettes are back. Let's go ahead and kill the ones we need. So obviously we're not going to be doing a Slayer deed here right now. Takes 100 just for the regular. This is one of those, either you're going to put on some music and just have a leisurely day of killing these things, or you're going to put on a deed accelerator to do them. There's actually more stuff down here. I think this is where that road ends. Don't know what's beyond that. Or what used to be beyond that. It would be nice to know. I don't know. I'm guessing, considering they call this a city, this might be where the dwarves would live for the Silvertine Lodes, and then they would go to work in the mines. It's a neat place. Look at this. Yeah, I imagine this housed the miners for the Silvertine Lodes. This would be something I would like to see in its prime when it was first built. I swear, sometimes I don't know which I like better. The hobbits or the dwarves? Alright, so we have killed 10 dragonettes. We can head back up. We have a whole bunch of things to turn into Ondot now. A riddle, and of course all his tasks that he had for us.
These halls will be great once more.
I am deeply indebted to you. That will make a great difference, I think, for dwarves all over the Silvertine Lodes. You have my thanks. Has anyone ever told you how incredibly useful you seem to be? Well, I thank you for the level up. That'll help as we continue into Moria.
Dwarves must fight for dwarves.
You are a riddle master as well as a doughty runekeeper, eh, Medriel? That is most impressive. Let us see what you've found here. A key. Interesting. I should hang on to this, if I were you. It might come in handy if you find any more twist-tongues riddling in Moria. So he actually lets me keep it.
The time has come to drive forth the orcs from our kingdom.
What do you have there, Medriel? Ah, were these fair crystals the source of the light I saw, and not a goblin fire? This is wonderful. We can harvest these crystals for lamps in these desolate parts.
May Durin return soon to his halls.
You got rid of those pesky deep claws? Good. I am glad to hear it. Now he's another
We have
quest
seen
for me.
naught of Durin's bane. Be
Or-
wary if you journey into Moria.
Ore samples 4. We have searched for mithril all over the Silvertine Lodes by mining mineral deposits and found not a trace. I noticed some deposits along the walls here. I'm sure they will come up dry as well, so I dare not get my hopes up. But we had best finish what you started and take a look, don't you think? Bring me the ore samples you collect, and I will look it over. So they are quite determined to find mithril, which is a very rare but very desired metal used to make weapons and armor of the finest quality. In fact, if we remember, Bilbo Baggins had a chainmail chest piece that was made of mithril. Many weapons back in the First Age were made of mithril because it was strong and light and had some very unique properties So we will check out these ore samples. And because those ore samples are so high up, we're not doing the usual looking like we're mining. So we need 3 more. There's one right here. And I don't think we want to fall down into the water. Can we get out of the water? Oh, they did make it so we can get out of the water. Okay. I don't know where that goes, though. I don't think there's any more of that mithril this way. And luckily for us, deep claws threaten before they attack, so we can run around here and nilly-willy, and they're just going to fuss at us. Might be some this way. I see something glowing ahead. Okay. Let's get past these dragonettes, shall we? Oh, here's another ore sample. We need one more, and I see it over there. We have to see a couple of them over there, actually. Oh, we have one right here. Okay. We'll grab that one. And now we have our ore samples, so we should bring them back. Oh, here's a better look at... Yeah. Definitely had to have housed the miners. You know, for a huge underground city, it actually is quite nice. Or at least it was quite nice. I don't know if you can correctly say it is nice now. Unless you like ruins like I do. Alright, Ondot. I have brought you your ore samples.
Dwarves must fight for dwarves.
Well, let's have a look at that ore. I will take a look. Ondot looks at each piece of ore with a scrutinizing stare. Suddenly he jumps as if startled by a ghost. What? I cannot believe it, Nedriel. You have found mithril. It is a tiny trace, very small, but by Dorn's beard you have found it. And naturally the old city sits on a source. You must send word to the rest of the expedition, my friend. We will settle... Wait. We will settle ere long. Alright, so we actually found a trace of mithril in here.
Stand and speak with me. The fate of Khazad-dûm hangs in the balance.
You have done all that I could have hoped for here, Medriel, and now I must endeavor to send you to the deep descent camp and tell them the wonderful news that mithril has been found at last. Do not tarry. In fact, you should take my goat. I will stay here and defend the work you did to make the old Silvertine city safe for my folk. I am sure that Nor will wish to set up camp here straight away. Now, I would love to actually see, come back here later and see a camp of dwarves here working. But you don't get to see that, which is too bad. But we can take the goat and it will instantly travel us to the deep descent. Very handy. Very handy indeed. And of course, we have a couple of things to tell him about. Let's start with the mirrors. We'll tell him the little news first.
Greetings, friend. Are you lost?
You are making Khazad-dûm just a little more habitable every day, Medriel. These mirrors will once again light our ancient home. And so we have our choice of infused athelas, celebrant salves, so that's morale, mana, or we can have milk thistle draught, Linstad draught, healing draught, or Conwith draught. Conwith? This one removes fear. This one removes wound. This one removes disease. And this one removes poison. We're going to go... We don't really use any of these, although we should use the disease ones, especially when fighting those drakelings. And we're going to go with the health.
The Lords of Moria have returned.
Mithril? What? You found a tiny vein of mithril in the old Silvertine city? I cannot believe it. Truly I cannot. This is wonderful news, Medriel. We will have to send reinforcements there. What a discovery upon my beard.
Perhaps soon we will toast our victory against the Orcs of Moria.
You have done more than we could ever have hoped in Silvertine Lodes, so it is time to send you back to the upper levels to help out in Doran's way. You should make for the Chamber of Crossroads, which lies to the north of the Great Delving. Give my greetings to Lickmund when you get there, if he's still breathing. Such a cheery ending. Alright, so we're going to be lazy. We're going to take the goat back
to drive
up
the orcs from our kingdom
to a Dolven View. We have completed everything in Silvertine Lodes. Got to look at some ruins that I'm sure were once a fine city. It is kind of hard to imagine that they carved these cities out of stone underground. Which is probably why they still exist in any condition at all.
May Durin return soon to his halls.
And then we want to head to Chamber of the Crossroads. And that's where both our quests lead us. The book quest and the side quests lead us there. So, always good when quests coincide. I mean, despite the darkness of Moria, you really do get to see some pretty amazing examples of what the developers of the game imagined Moria would look like. And it's impressive. It really is. Now, can we get this chess piece on the way? Oh, yeah, I can handle those. Okay. So let's go ahead and kill off some bats. And grab this ornate chess piece. You have found an ornate chess piece from a set of heavy armor, old but of superlative craftsmanship, and raked with claw marks, lying seamlessly unattended. You may wish to find out more about it. Perhaps a dwarf in the Chamber of Crossroads will know more. Alright, so let's get on our goat. Fortunately for us, we actually know our way around. And it doesn't hurt that there's, you know, Iron Garrison guards standing there. And we have Uxie here with a quest for us.
Stand and speak with me. The fate of Khazad-dûm hangs in the balance.
Do you see that shattered statue just in the center of the hall, friend High Elf? According to records and carvings we have found, it once depicted a brave dwarf by the name of Helgi Goblinbane. The goblins of Moria have been systematically smashing all images they can find of him. I am not even sure that this isn't the last remnant of the legacy. It was nearly whole when I first arrived, but just recently a party of goblins reduced the statue to the state in which you now see it. They carried off the pieces, boasting that they would become objects of ridicule in goblin camps throughout the mines. If you are prepared for a dangerous and noble undertaking, go look closely at the statue's base, so you will recognize its pieces when you go seeking them. So in a way, this is kind of another deed. I'm going to get off our goat, because when we run up here, we'll get met by a goblin rider. Oh, there he is. Elder Moria rider. Okay. We can go back to Uxie here.
These halls will be great once more.
So do you think you can recognize the statue's pieces now if you were to run into them elsewhere? I think the rest are in goblin and orc camps throughout Khazad-dûm. I would start by heading east to Jazergund. That's the direction in which the goblins who smashed the statue fled. Okay, so that's another deed with a set of quests attached, and we'll find those pieces scattered all over the place. Oh, and this is a big hole. We won't be jumping down that right now. It's a very deep well. It leads down into waterworks. And you usually die. So we need to talk to Bosie here. We need to talk to like 3 different dwarves here.
I have need of your great skill.
Welcome, Edriel, to the Chamber of Crossroads. This shall be my command center for a time. As we establish our presence here in Moria, we will bury ourselves with making ready to restore the mines and cities beneath the mountains. I will never forget the great deeds you have done on behalf of the Iron Garrison, and I eagerly await tales of your future adventures. I am ever at your service, and may your feet lead you well in the darkness of Khazad-dûm and beyond.
We must be cautious. Dwarves have not lived here for long years.
We have established a presence within Moria, Medriel, and will stage further excursions into the depths from this room, the Chamber of Crossroads. This once served as a guard room for watching the 3 passages just to the south, but has been empty for many long years. Many creatures have thrived in the darkness during the long absence of dwarves, especially the Gredbig. Fierce and loathsome insects spawned from the deep. Seek out all varieties of Gredbig in the western levels to the south and west of this chamber and eliminate them. This will be the first small step to reclaiming the great delving for my people. There is much to be done before progress is to be made. Alright, so now we need to find our other 2 dwarves we need to talk to. And these 2 guys will have think they're instance quests. Ah, here's Ramby.
Greetings, friend. Are you lost?
An ornate chess piece, you say? Surrounded by bats. That is interesting.
Oh, glorious day. We shall soon restore Moria.
The armor you found is a beautiful piece of craftsmanship, Medriel. What interests me particularly are these gouges in it. Look here and here. I believe this was carried in a creature's claws. Attacked by bats? Well, I suppose. But why would a bat carry a piece of armor about? That is most peculiar. When inspecting finely crafted armor, there is one dwarf who I would count on beyond all others. Sigden. Talk to him here in Chamber of Crossroads. He may have some insight into this strange find. So Sigden's over here.
The time has come to drive forth the orcs from our kingdom.
Yes, I am Sigden, your servant, brave roomkeeper. Why have you sought me out? Sigden looks carefully at the claw marks in the armor. These scratches are too deep to have been caused by even the largest of bats. It would have been taken something much stronger to pierce the armor that well made. That is really all I can say.
The House of Durin will live forever.
Sigden doesn't think this was done by bats, and neither do I. The bats fit into this in some way, but I have yet figured out how. And that's pretty much it. I don't think that quest ever goes anywhere else. Ah, here's Lickmund.
Dark things dwell now in Moria.
That sent you to check up on me, did he? More like he sent you to check up on me. I still owe him a hefty gambling debt from our last outing together, and I'm betting he wants to make sure I live long enough to make good on it. Well, we could use the extra hands anyway, so you're welcome to stay if you have a pair of them to lend to our effort. And he has a couple of quests for us, which I think open up some more quests.
I doubt that Lord Balin still lives.
Welcome to the Chamber of Crossroads, Medriel. We are fairly busy here, as you can no doubt see, and could certainly use your help. Our encampment is a vital link to the supply chain between Doran's Threshold and the 21st Hall, far to the east. It is also nearly impossible for anything to get past us here without us spotting it, so it's very important that we not fail to hold this chamber against anything the goblins and orcs can throw at us. If you are mind to help us out, you should speak with Fosfoff, Rink, and Gansey over there. They have some rather important matters that need attending to, or so they tell me. I'm sure I can find something for you to do as well. And he certainly can.
What foul and nameless things we face in Moria, I know not.
One of my dwarves, Crumb, has discovered a large goblin camp in the westernmost chamber of Doran's Way, which the creatures called Ninkroth falter in their vile tongue. He has only scouted around the outskirts, and he asked for help investigating more closely. I cannot spare any extra men for this, but if you would go and ensure his safety, I would be grateful. You can find him near Ninkroth Faltor, to the north of here. When you have learned more about this encampment, return to me. And like I said, that opens up a couple more quests. Let's start with Rank.
Welcome to Khazad-dûm. Stay and speak with me a moment.
The goblins are among the most ancient and bitter rivals of Doran's folk, and yet again they prove to be an obstacle in our path. The chamber to the north has become inhabited by goblins. If we ever hope to reclaim Doran's Way for those who made it great, then we must drive our old foe away, find the hall of the High Stair, and confront any goblins you may find. And here's Fostoff.
We can only hope that Durin's Bane sleeps deeply.
Forgive me, Medriel, for any rudeness. I am not permitted to leave my post here, but these increased drums are driving me mad. I've not had any decent sleep since we arrived here. The band of goblins responsible for that den are encamped just north of here, in the hall of the high stair. Could you do me a favor and silence the drummers? What I would not give to have just one night's peace. And Gansey.
Perhaps soon we shall stand face to face with Lord Balin.
Lickman sent you to help me. Well, that is most fortunate timing, good elf. I have just the task for one such as yourself. We are running dangerously low on supplies. I was bringing a cart over from Doran's threshold, but we were ambushed outside Manorble. We were driven back before reinforcements could arrive, and the goblins made off with our supplies. I would greatly appreciate if you could hunt down the missing crates. It will be a lean week indeed before the next shipment otherwise, and we might even be forced to abandon this camp. The goblins fled north towards Madmulzarek. So we just picked up a whole ton of quests, and they're going that way behind where we are. Okay. Well, moving right along. Next time, we'll deal with some goblins and some more goblins and collecting some crates of supplies that the goblins have surely defiled at this point. But until then, bye for now.